Welcome to today's tutorial on SOLIDWORKS. Today we will be analyzing a simple tutorial we developed for 2D and 3D design. This will be mainly done on SOLIDWORKS, but of course you can use other mainstream softwares that can help you with the 3D CAD applications. We will use SOLIDWORKS on Mac, but in fact SOLIDWORKS was originally developed for Windows. We still don't have a Mac version, but if you are interested, I can tell you how you can kind of install it in your computer by using parallel system. The handbook I have here for you is something simple. It's just give you an example of 2 illustrations. This can be a good practical exercise, and this will be in the blackboard. So first we will start with a 3D model of here a simple gear, an example of a simple example of a typical gear that may happen in the scooter. Imagine this is the mechanism where you can bound the scooter, and we will basically start with the design in 2D, top view, front view, right view, and then I will teach you how to do the 3D design. You can do all of these in the same file, but to explain you a little bit the applications and the main functionalities of SOLIDWORKS, we will start with a simple 2D design and then we move to the 3D version. I also put here another representation, kind of a vase or something like that, just as a simple example, but this I think you can do by yourself if you want to practice a little bit more, and then if you have some questions you can reach out to me. Today we will just focus on exercise 1. So starting here with SOLIDWORKS. When you are installing and using SOLIDWORKS in the Mac using this parallel system, you will have some errors. It may not run so well. As you can see, there is an issue here with the resource monitor, but you don't worry too much. It is good enough for this type of applications we are doing here. So you don't need to concern here with these warnings. First thing we need to do is we need to pay attention to what is the type of system you are using. For example, if you go to drawing is only the 2D version. So if you start with 2D drawing and then you want to move to a 3D version, this will not work out. So you need to be very careful. If you really want to start by developing a 3D version, use the part and focus only on developing your full system on this. But starting now with the drawing with a simple 2D design of this exercise I have here. First we will start with selecting a landscape. This is not so relevant to our case of today. We are more focused on the object itself, but when you later graduate and if you go to an engineering company, this will be quite important. Different companies, different projects will have their own types of landscapes, related if it is an architectural project, if it is mechanical engineering, if it is electrical, and so on. So I will just go here for one that A0 I feel comfortable with. And when you start by choosing a landscape, one of the first things you should see are the units of your system. So right now you can see here by the corner they are giving me in inch, but majority of these designs use the international metric system. So you should start by going to the properties and modifying these. So let's go here to options. We look for document properties and then we go to units and let's select here what should we be focused on. I will start with the centimeters, grams second, and we are ready to go. As you see, the system now already changed and it is focusing now on centimeters. Here we can just close this model view. It is not relevant. If you want, you can also reduce this side here. Is also not relevant for today. Okay, so now that we are starting, let's look again to our handbook, and what we want to do is a top view, front view and right view. Let's focus on these three and let's do this independently. So the top view, I will do here a trick. I will first try to do this top part, and then I will use the mirror to just replicate this bottom part so that I can save some time while designing it. But of course there are so many ways you can do this, there are so many strategies, everyone has their own, some will be smarter than what I'm doing today, but let's start little by little with just some simple exercise. Okay, so when we're talking about drawing, we need to focus on the sketch. The good part of SOLIDWORKS is this gives you already some a lot of automatic drawing. You see, click online. When you move, it already gives you the angles, it already gives you how many centimeters we are using in this case. Right now, I don't even need to put here to draw the 52 centimeters or 52 millimeters, whatever unit we are referring. I can just arrive here, click 15, a random line, as long as it is a straight line. And then I put here the right parameters. We mentioned here it is 52. I come here, this line, go to the parameters, 52 and 0 degrees, so it is a straight line, and it is already designed. As you see, the line seems not so straight. This stuff you are seeing here moving up and down is because sometimes when I'm using the mouse, it can be very sensitive to drawing, but you can just come here, zoom to fit and solve these issues. So sometimes when using the mouse it will move quite fast, especially if it is the Apple mouse, since it's not so suitable for this, but okay, not relevant. So when you click here, you also want to check the type of line. You see, we are getting here some kind of straight line, doesn't look so beautiful. We can here to the toolbar and choose a different type of line and color. So better case is just look for the line toolbar, line format. Here we have. So here we have this searching option. So when you are looking for some functionality that you are not so familiar, you can just search here. Usually it is quite good. So I come here, let's just make it a straight line, and let's also change the color to black. Okay, and what is happening here is as we also change this to solid line. I see it already modified. So the first one is done. Now let's do this on the side with 11 centimeters. Again, we just do this. It is straight, don't worry so much. I go here. We need to click escape when we want to close the line, if not you'll get stuck. Come again to 11. It is already designed, and let's try to change the appearance to make the default straight line and make the default this 0.5. It's a bit too big. This is not so relevant, but just make sure it looks a bit more beautiful. Okay. Let's make sure this is the default. Let's go to the custom size. Okay, it should be okay. For some reason it was appearing with some strange defaults, but now it's okay. Now we did the 11. Okay, let's make now this bottom line. So 52 minus 11, we know this one here should be 41 centimeters. Just come here once again. 41 centimeters. Still giving me strange functions. Let's see if I want to customize 2D to 3D. Okay, let's not be customizing. Now what I want to do is this lower part. So I will first do alpha fit, the first part, and then I will just mirror and teach you how you can mirror. Now let's do this little piece here. So if 18 is all of this component, so 9 will be this part. I go here again, change the characteristics and put 9, should be okay. I mean, now, you know, as you see now, every time I'm changing the default, I'm changing the appearance, I'm changing the color. Now I will just continue to do like this, so that we don't stop here the video and I try to solve this situation. But later I will modify this, in which we have as automatic the as preference this first set with these colors, with these dimensions. Okay, and now we need to write here this on the side. So if you have 11 from here, we have 9 from here, so we are talking about 20 centimeters this component here. Once again, 90 degrees, that is important to have a straight line. And now 20 centimeters, you start to see we start to have already alpha fit. And then we need to develop this, to put this component here. So this component of the gear, we can see by the front view it should have 32 centimeters and it should be after the 11. So it should be aligned with this component. Let's go. So here one good part is that we can automatically see how to have it aligned. I don't have to have any auxiliary line for that. I put here, and once again I just put some line 30, let me see again, 32 centimeters. Okay, you see we almost have alpha fit already done. Zoom to fit. It's kind of a big drawing. We can just simply select and move the drawing wherever we want, just by simply selecting it. Okay, now let's design this little part here, which is also 9, is aligned with the other. Escape when we want to close the line. 9. Perfect. We already have half of the drawing done. Just can select all of the lines at the same time and change everything later. We don't need to be changing any line at every single moment. If you want, you can also create different layers with different defaults on line sizes. For example, if you want the front view to be in layer 1 and have that as defined 0.35, you can create a layer for that. Then you can create a layer for the right side, for example, but today we will not be focusing on this. And then here is okay. Let me just see, straight line. Okay. Let's just put this in the same color. See, it was missing one line. Okay, so this part is already done. Now, to save time, we will not design again the second part. We will instead do a mirror. But to do a mirror, we need to have a center line or planar reference. So what we will do is we will just create a reference here that later we will delete. The objective is just to have a reference when we want to mirror. So now we select here, we go to mirror entities, mirror about. This is quite important. So in SolidWorks you need to pay attention here to these commands. Entities to mirror, we are talking about those lines. Mirror about, we are talking about the plan. And as you see, good. If there is a mistake, it will tell you. When you go to click, it will tell you. You see, half of it is already done. Now if you want to delete this selected line, it is done. I will design these auxiliary lines here, but this is to represent that in the middle these will be empty. So this is the lines that are just symbolizing that here there is a hole. And then I will also teach you how to do the annotations you see here. So first, to do these lines, let's find here some auxiliary reference point. We see from this front view that this should have 36 centimeters. So let's go and create an auxiliary line between 36. I will just put here. This is quite. Wait, now it didn't get. Now the problem is when you do that. Here it is, our line. 30 what? 36. I already lost it. The problem when we do one line on top of the other as a reference is this, that then you get lost, you cannot find the line anymore, and it's a bit tricky. So there is smarter ways. We cannot even find where is this reference line that I was giving. So as you see, if you don't have the design so well organized, these situations may happen. We just have a reference line and then we get it. We lost it. Okay, let's try again. Let's put here 39. Click. This one here. Let's call this coincident line. This is about the relations. You see, this notion that is giving us is about the relations itself and not so much on the drawing. Because when you design a line on top of the other, you can have these issues that then is a bit difficult for you to understand where did you put your line. 36. Okay, that should be the reference point of 36 centimeters. And then I will be based on this, create just a reference point. We could also have done this in the first interaction, and then when you duplicate, you already duplicate with the other lines. And now you know that you need this 36. We have this symbolize the diameter. So according to this line should have a diameter. This circle should have a diameter of 16. So it means 8 centimeters for one side and for another. Okay, so from here, let's design here some line, an auxiliary line of 8. You see, it was not very smart. Okay. This is the problem when you do the auxiliarity lines, is that then you find difficulty where you find them. We can also find in another smarter way so that we don't get lost. We can just come here and find one of 8. This is just an example, right? You can do this in 1000 of ways. So 8 centimeters to one side, 8 centimeters to another, and I come here and I modify, and now we just simply create a line between these, then I will just trim it down Okay, do the same for here. We'll change the colors later. And then also get this opportunity to teach you how to trim. Okay, as long as it passes, we will trim, so we don't care too much. We don't care too much if we are stopping the line in the right point it crosses or not. So now what we can simply do, and is very smart, is we can come here and we just trim this down. You see, this is a very nice function, trimming. You can do trimming with lines. See, there is these extra lines. You can use power to trim. You hold down and drag your cursor across the entities and we'll just simply remove everything. If we were talking about this being a solid and then you design a line, then it will not trim. So this will only work when you are talking about the same type of entities. And now let's also trim the one in the middle. And you already have here your basic design. Of course, then you can change the colors, you can change the types of you can also change here the line style. Now looking to the annotations. To the annotations you can simply click on the smart dimensions. You go to a vertex, you go to another, and it should appear here the dimension. Now the dimension for some reason is appearing too small, but it is appearing here. You see 52 centimeters, and you can change the dimension of the text. You can change the size of the text. This is right, but this is too small. So let's make sure this is a little bit. This is the type of units. So what is the precision you want to have? Let's use the same of the document. This is also related with the tolerance. Let's not have no tolerance, exact values. And then we can also decide if we want to put different styles or not. This is about the value. This is about the leaders itself. Use document bent lane. So right now let's try to increase this. Maybe even need to put this a little bit larger. Dimension of the line, we can change the type of the line. So let's try to put a bit of a stronger line. You see, can already change. Let's put here something like 1. Extension line style, right now by definition is using the same style of the document display. You see, the extend line, we are talking about these auxiliary lines, these ones here. Let's put something a bit more thin. Break lines we don't have. The text, if you move these, it will give you the direction of text, but here you also see where do you want the lines to be. Do you want it to appear on the outside, on the inside? Do you want it to be automatic? And then others, text font, if you want to have. This is about the type of text that will appear in your annotations, and also the units of the annotation itself. As you see, it is appearing something so small. Let's put here something a bit bigger, 52 centimeters. Not very good looking, but it does its job, right? That is the main point. If you want to change this, is because the document length is too big, then it becomes ugly. You can also put it a little bit more thin. Well, still not very beautiful, but it does its job. But the main point is that when you want to get annotations, you can simply come here and just select what you want to annotate. If you want to annotate this, put here a reference, 11 centimeters. Yes, and then you just can come here, the document. Why is the document font appearing so strange? Because this is the document font of the landscape we selected. So this is something we should pay attention. Each of these landscapes will have their own units, will have their own type of font, the font style, weight of the font. So that is why it is appearing here so strange, these values, is because we choose kind of a random landscape, and then this may happen, that it doesn't look so beautiful for our specific case. But okay, you already see how the annotation works. Is something simple. Now how can we write here this top view? This top view, we can also annotation note. You see, even gives here a nice example, and you can come here, just put where you want your font to be here, and you write top view, change the type of letter. Let's put here 48 so something can be seen. Let's put a color pink, and let's hope everything is okay. See, it's still too small because it's the units of the drawing. So the next one, the right view and the top view, I will choose another landscape so that I don't need to be so focused on changing the lines that and so on. See, but at the same point you are having here a realistic experience what can happen when you are doing a drawing. You'll have some issues about the style, some issues about the type of letter, and about the drawing itself. There are smarter ways, but the point is that you have here a nice view of the challenge that you may have. Let's try to zoom in. See, this is so small we can barely see it. For some reason it is not giving. Maybe you need to increase. Okay. Need even to make it larger. You need even to make it larger so that we can see in our drawing. If we zoom out, if not, we cannot see anything. Okay, you see, you already have here this top view. Is a simple example. This is just the vertex where we have the midpoint of the drawing. And now that I did this first top view, we will just do the same for the front view, and then for the right view. Okay, let's stop here and have a short video for each one of them.